Welcome you to this tutorial in the series of tutorials I'm preparing for my students. This particular topic is on the topic elements of the sentence. This particular topic is not supposed to be a topic we have to set questions on, but it has come up lately. In any case, I believe that by going through this tutorial, you can answer a few questions that will come up on it. Remember that we are doing objective test plus one summary question. And so be prepared for objective test. And I believe that maybe one or two questions will come up on this particular topic. Now, we studied sentences all right, but what we are doing now is about the elements of the sentence. Basically, how the items in the sentence are sequenced. You may be familiar with things like subject, object, verb, complement, and adjunct. You may have heard about these things in your secondary school before, but I want to go a little further to explain this in just briefly for the purpose of the examination that we are going to do this semester. What then is a subject? What is a verb? What is an object? What is a complement? What is an adjunct? Now, a subject is a person or something who or which acts or does something. So he's an actor or performer. Now, a simple subject contains a pronoun or noun. It could be a pronoun or noun and could be modified. I'll explain all these things as we go along. It could be a phrase or even a clause. But know that it is not always that the subject does something. I'll explain later. Now, the subject, for example, Amma is eating. Amma is doing something. The girl is eating. You see, the girl, the noun phrase. A phrase is a group of words. Maybe Amma is just one word, but the girl, a group of words. 3 big girls. You see, this is a phrase, all right, with a modifier. 3 big girls. So the head is girls, but you have 3 big preceding the word girls. Ate the food. He ate the food. We mentioned earlier on that the subject could be a pronoun. Now, one of the things that I think we got to do from here is that we can test what the subject can be by replacing each of these items by a pronoun. If the group of words or word can be replaced by a pronoun or is a pronoun, then that is a subject. Amma is eating. She is eating. The girl is eating. She is eating. 3 big girls ate the food. They ate the food. He ate the food. He ate the food. When we come here, we have the aged will be attended to first. The aged, they will be attended to. See, that phrase can be replaced by a pronoun. That you saw me at the bar yesterday did not bother me. It did not bother me. What they said was correct. It was correct. The woman who entered the room is the new vice chancellor. She, the whole of this can be replaced by she. It's a new vice chancellor, and you can see that it works. But I said earlier on that it is not always the case that the subject does something. Look at this one. It will rain. This is a complete sentence with the subject here. It. It is hot in the northern part of the country. It is a subject, but it doesn't do anything per se. Amma is intelligent. It shows the state or something rather than action. But Amma is a subject. Amma is a girl. That one also shows state, not action. But all the same, Amma is a subject here. Now, how to determine the subject? Sometimes not for this particular lesson anyway. But look at it. In the sky flew a big aeroplane. You can say a big aeroplane flew in the sky. This is a more natural way of organizing this particular sentence, in which case we can see the subject to be a big aeroplane. You see it clearly at the beginning of the sentence. Now let's look at the verb. The verb denotes action. Denotes action. But like I said earlier, it is not always the case that a verb will denote action anyway. So we have action verbs, stative verbs, and all that. Amma ate the food. We kicks. Action verbs are many: think, drink, eat, um, sweep, laugh, beat, etc. A verb may not take an object or a complement. See, this is the verb. This verb. There are some verbs that don't need. They don't need a complement or object to make meaning. For example, Amma danced. That is understandable. It's look like it's a sentence. Kofi sweeps. So that is a category of verbs. I must say that I'm trying to just go through this to just prepare you for the examination that is coming. So it may not be so detailed. In that case, it will help you to be able to answer the questions that I think will come. Now, let's go to the next one. A verb a verb needs one object. A verb may need only one object. Could we eat the food? Amma kill the cat. That's another category of verbs. But another verb category of verbs may need two subjects. Kofi give Amma a handkerchief, or Kofi gave a handkerchief to Amma. So you can see here, Kofi is subject, all right, this is a verb. But there are two nouns following the verb, a handkerchief and Amma. So maybe these are ditransitive verbs. I don't want to bother you with technicalities at this point. But just know that there are some category of verbs that will take two objects. Here, the verb should be made up of the auxiliary plus the main verb. When you have a group of verbs, you have items like is gone, have come, has been coming, and you are asked to identify the verb. Please underline this auxiliary verb plus the main verb as the verb. So all these are, let's take another example here, which will explain this. He has been coming early. So has been coming is a verb. All this constitutes the verb. Very good. Linking verb. There are some category of verbs which they take complement. Let me just explain this for now. Amma is intelligent. The food tastes good. It appears dark. All these category of verbs, they don't take objects. They take complements because they behave like the verb be. Listen to this. Amma is intelligent. The food tastes good. The food is good. It appears dark. It is dark. So you can see that this category of verbs, which behave like the verb be, can be replaced by maybe is or was or were. They don't actually show action. They show a relationship between the noun on the left hand side and what follows the verb. Ama is intelligent, so this adjective is used to associate, is connecting Ama. The food is good. It appears dark. It is dark. So when you see this category of verbs, then what follows them cannot be object, but complement. I'll explain this further, please. So those are linking verbs. Linking verbs. But let's look at object. What is an object? What or who is affected by the action of the verb? So Ama ate the food. The food is the object. Kofi killed the cat. The cat is the object. Kofi gave Ama a handkerchief. Kofi gave. You see, he gave Ama is an object. But in this case, it's an indirect object. And handkerchief, something that is transferred, is a direct object. The item that is moved from one person to the other is a direct object. But in the identification of parts of the sentence, you don't need indirect or direct to describe it. What we are saying is Kofi gave Ama, we call it object. Handkerchief also is an object. So there are two objects here. Ama is an object, handkerchief is an object. In the examination, you may not see the word indirect or direct to describe the object. But I'm just using it to explain the concept. Now, it's possible to also have a phrase as object. We met all three of them. You see, what appears in bracket here is an object. We met them. See, like I was telling you, if the group of words can be replaced by a pronoun, then it's likely that you are able to get what is called an object or subject. So we can say we met them. You can have a clause as a subject. He agreed that he was lying. The carpenter agreed that he is good. So you see, you have a whole clause because this has a subject and a verb here. So it's a clause. He agreed that he is lying. The carpenter agreed that he is good. So this is a that clause. A complement, an element which refers to another element already mentioned, mentioned in the sentence or clause. A complement completes the idea expressed by a verb. The complement can be an adjective. He is happy. She will be sad. And I said earlier on that see those category of verbs follow the verb be, will be, is, was, were. Some other verbs that take complement are consider, was, I am, be. There are many. Consider, appears, he is, she is, we are. They take complements. He is a teacher. See, the complement is a noun phrase. He is a teacher. He became tired. The complement is an adjective. The truth was that he passed the examination. The complement is a clause. That he passed the examination. The truth was that he passed the examination. See, in this case, consider the type of verbs here: is, become, was. Those verbs are not actually many, but take note of them. Now, adjunct. What is an adjunct? An adjunct adds use. An adjunct usually adds. An adjunct usually adds. Usually adds extra information about the circumstance, about the circumstance, or the circumstances of a situation. They are normally address or time, frequency, manner. We know a lot of, we know address, there are many. Address or degree, address or time, address or place. So they are adverbs. Quiet, for example, quiet, loudly, quite loudly, incredibly. For example, surprisingly, the team won the match. So this is what an adjunct. Even though they are adverbs, we technically call them adjuncts. Now, the adjunct can also be made up of preposition. In brief, with much sorrow. In the morning, in brief, he passed the exam. So this is an adjunct. Now, it is advisable for us to revise our knowledge on preposition. If you are able to know what prepositions are, if you are able to revise, I think you know this is already. Prepositions, then you are on the way to getting adjunct so easily. Now, the adjunct can also be the noun phrase, which are normally time words. As in next year, they will celebrate the festival next year. So this time word, next year, is an adjunct. Time words, next year, is that similar to what you saw earlier? In the morning, 2 years ago, before, sorry, before. Let's come back to preposition: before, after, in the morning, and so on and so forth. All are what? Prepositional phrases. Now, having done this background, having laid the foundation for this discussion, let's take some of the examples, and then we see the kind of thing that you see in examination. He ate the food. See, he, subject, ate, V, the food, O, so it's SVO. Kofi gave Ama a book. Kofi is subject, gave. Ama and book, they are OO, object. I explained this already. So this should be difficult for you. It appears calm, or sorry, she appears calm. See, this verb appears doesn't take object, it is complement. So subject, verb, complement, not object. The driver of the bus left suddenly. The driver of the bus is a subject. The whole of this is a subject. Left is a verb. Suddenly is what? Adjunct. It tells us about the frequency of things or the manner of things. So we cannot say, no, it's not a complement, it's an adjunct. In fact, both tall houses were destroyed by thunder. Look at it. In fact, it's an adjunct. Both tall houses, subject, were destroyed is a verb. All this is constitute a verb. By thunder, remember this is a preposition. By thunder, so it's what? Adjunct. In fact, it's also an adjunct in the first place. Then by thunder, they are both prepositional phrases. We mentioned this some few minutes ago. So ASVA, my friend called me a taxi. He called a taxi for me. See, my friend called me. He called me a taxi. He called for me a taxi. My friend called for me a taxi. SVOO. See, the verb called has two objects, me and taxi, following the verb. So this won't be too difficult. Every Wednesday, time words, every Wednesday is an adjunct. The shop opens at 8 o'clock. The shop subject, verb at 8 o'clock is an adjunct. It's an adjunct. So we can see every Wednesday the shop opens at 8 o'clock. ASVA. Let's look at this. Present your case carefully. Present your case carefully. Present is a verb. Your case is an object. Carefully, adjunct. Remember, all the words which which end in ly, they are all adverbs. Carefully, tightly, slowly. Now, I read a poem and an essay in the evening. Even though we have two things here, a poem and an essay, they both constitute an object. You cannot say object, no. If it were to be in the case of something like offer, give, donate, he donated a table to the school. Then you can say donate takes table and school. That's a different case. If you were to be, he gave a handkerchief to Amma. So give takes handkerchief and Amma. But that's a different case. Here, I read a a poem and an essay. A poem and an essay all constitute object in this case. This is not the OO type, please. So I read a poem and an essay in the evening. So in the evening, prepositional phrase. So it's what? Adjunct. I, subject, verb, read, then object, book. Very good. I will come. See, will come constitute the verb. I will come. I will come after school, but before dinner. See, after school, but before dinner are all preposition. See, after the preposition, before dinner preposition. So that all these units after school, but before dinner, all constitute what? A. All this constitute A. So SVA. All this constitutes A. Lazy students make me angry. Lazy students make me angry. Lazy students, the subject, make me. They make me object. But angry here is not an object, it's complement. Remember that complement normally are kind of adjectives. So they made me angry. So here, angry is not a complement. Sorry, it's not an object. They make me angry. I will try to name few examples of this kind. Take something like he named his child Amma. What do you think to be? He is a subject, name is a verb. His child is an object. Ama is a complement. He named his child Ama. He named his child Ama. He named his child Ama. He named his child is a unit. See, Ama. So this one will be what? S V O E. He named his child Ama. He named his child Ama. Sorry, SVOC. Actually, SVOC, not A. SVOC. Similar to what we can see here. He named his child Ama. Or maybe Kofi sold Ama his beautiful house. Here you can see that Kofi verb sold Ama is an object. Beautiful house. In other words, there's a transfer of property here. Transfer of property where something is being transferred from one person to another. So Kofi sold a beautiful house to Ama. So it's OO. Very good. Let's look at more examples here. He seemed an innocent man. See, he seemed. We mentioned those category of verbs that take complement, and one of them is seemed. I mentioned consider, appear, taste, and I said most of those verbs, which we call the linking verbs, they behave like the verb be. So here I can say he is an innocent man. You see, this verb can be replaced by the verb be, as in he is an innocent man. He is an innocent man. So see, this here, an innocent man is not an object because this category of verbs don't take object. Now maybe what you can do is quickly go online and look for just in a minute, look for linking verbs and category of verbs which qualify as linking verb. Just in a flash, you can get a lot of them. But you see, this structure doesn't look like, let's say, he beat an innocent man. No, this category of verb is not about action verb which you take an object. He seemed an innocent man, like he is an innocent man. Very good. The beautiful girls stole the gold watches. Beautiful girls, subject, stole verb, the watches. See, this one is an action verb, so it is an object. The weather, sorry, the waiter gave her a warm smile. The waiter is subject, give verb, her object, a warm smile. So it is as if you are saying warm smile is transferred to her. In other words, she benefit from a warm smile. So it's what? SVOO. Now, at this point, I want you to try this by yourself, try on your own. What you need to do is for you to don't go beyond this point. Try to try this thing yourself before you look at the answers. I've included answers. I've included answers, all right. But be sincere to yourself, just by way of practice and testing yourself. Go through it. Try to write down the answers, SVO, SVC kind of thing. Then later on, you confirm the answers. That is how you can do it and you enjoy it. Do not go to look at the answers first. Don't look at the answers first. So we have questions here from we have questions from 1 to 9 or so. So having identified the answers or written out the answers, then you can go and look at the answers proper. Now, So let's look at it. My friend called me a taxi. Like my friend called a taxi for me. It's SVO. But look closely. My friend called me a fool. It's SVOC. It's similar to the structure my friend, so Kofi named his child Ama. See, Kofi named his child Ama. My friend called me a fool. It's SVOC, not OO. He made Mary a, we made Mary a leader. It's SVOC. We made Mary a table. In other words, we made a table for Mary. It should be SVO. Take note of this. They are similar, but they are not the same. He knows an honest student. No, action verb. SVO. He remains an honest student. SVC. Remember that remains is also one of those linking verbs I talk about, which you don't take object, but they take complements. It's one of them. He remains an honest student. The solution appears the best. The solution appears the best. SVC. Appears one of those verbs. The story appears in the papers. You see, preparational phrase showing where something appears. So it's what? An adjunct. The story appears in the papers. Please. She did the job perfectly nicely. Did is a what? A verb. The job. It did the job. It's an object. But you see, you can see here AA. Why? Because you have these ly words here too. I know somebody to me want to argue that the whole of this will constitute a, which could be correct anyway, but it can also be AA. So, for example, if in the case of an objective test, you did not see SVOO and you see SVOA, then that could also be correct. You see, but clearly maybe SVAA, SVOAA, SVOAA. Now, that seems to be the end of this discussion. If you have any questions that you want to push to me to answer for you pertaining to this, kindly do so by using my WhatsApp number. I'll be available. Please feel free to contact me. It's very important. I wish you well. Remember to subscribe, like the video. I may post some few things today and tomorrow before the exam on Monday. Thank you very much.